some noise, Phoenix. They say the louder you cheer, the warmer you'll feel. So be loud here tonight. I promise it will help. And now let's introduce our players out on court. First, it's the current youngest man in the top 100, Phoenix. Make some noise for Joao Fonseca. And his opponent here tonight, the number 4 seed this year and a semifinalist at this event in 2023. Phoenix, let's make some noise for Jan-Lennard Struff. And Phoenix helping us out for our coin toss here tonight. Let's hear it for Emma Allen.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday night session at the 2025 Arizona Tennis Classic, a Challenger 175 event, the highest amount of points on offer at the Challenger level, just under an ATP 250. This is a second round match, and the last second round to be played. Quarterfinals are set in Phoenix, except for one more slot. And I'll take it down the draw. Nuno Borges will take on Colton Smith. Corentin Moutet will face Alexander Bublik. What a matchup that is. And then on the bottom, the 2-seed Flavio Caboli will take on Kei Nishikori. It is Hugo Gaston, the crafty Frenchman, who awaits the winner of this particular match. Will it be the last challenger that Joao Fonseca ever plays? It's possible. He was asked about it before the tournament. He said, well, we're not thinking about that, but we certainly hope so. Hope is that the results continue to go the direction that they have gone as of late. He is 21-4 since last December when he won the Next Gen title in Saudi Arabia. At the challenger level, he won in Canberra, Australia. Take a first round win against Jacob Fernley, but fell to Jack Draper. It's the first time we're seeing Jan-Lennard Struff this week, the 34-year-old, world number 46 from Germany. He got the bye as the number 4 seed. 3 minutes. And currently, he is trying to turn around his form on a 4-match losing streak. Is the big German who plays a very distinct style. He's going to try to get to the net as much as possible. He is a player who likes to hug the baseline. He is on the most extreme spectrum of aggression that we see on the ATP Tour. And that worked for him here in Phoenix a couple of years ago. He was actually coming back from injury. He was down in the rankings in the 130s, qualified here in Phoenix, and went all the way to the semifinal before losing to Nuno Borges, who won the title that year in 2023 and then won it again last year. Richard Haig is our chair umpire tonight.
To the right of the chair is your number 4 seed here this year. It's 34-year-old from Germany, Jan-Lennard Struff. Currently the world number 46. He reached his career high of number 21 in June of 2023. A two-time.
For Fonseca, you can see heavy strapping on the left thigh. That was the only
Struff.
Nice proactive +1 approach from Jan-Lennard Struff. And that is a crucial hold in the first set as Struff avoids going down the double break and controls the damage in the early going. But it's Fonseca with the early 2-1 advantage as we begin this Thursday evening session at the Phoenix Challenger, a spot in the quarterfinal on the line. Neither player has been particularly efficient attacking so far tonight. Difficult conditions with the wind and the temperatures. Feels like both players still looking to find their range. That's such a good body serve from Fonseca. Joao sneaks in very smartly, recognizing that Struff was going to slice the backhand on the run. That's how Struff looks to construct return points. One of the few players who looks to be offensive on a first serve return.
Out. 40-15. Left, goes up.
Good depth on that open stance backhand on the run by Fonseca. Struff was trying to get onto the front foot off the next ball, but Joao made sure he didn't have a weak ball to attack. 3-1 now. High percentage start on the Fonseca first serve, 75%.
15 love. Dirty love. Ow. 30-15.
Found the baseline on that block return on the backhand. You'll see Fonseca off screen on our main camera angle when he's returning, but he's not all that deep. I'd say only about 8-9 feet back. Daniil Medvedev we're playing on this court. Just to use one example, he'd struggle as there's not as much space between the baseline and the fence as some of the larger courts on the main tour. Jumped on that return, it caught the line.
30-40.
Three Struff service games, and Fonseca has had at least a break point now in all three. Good target hit on the serve for the big man. He is a high-level spot server.
Left for serve.
Second serve well fought off by Fonseca. It looked like that ball was catching him into the body. Joao was still able to manipulate his racket face and put a good return in.
Juice. Mr. Fonseca would like to replay of the left center service line.
Two damaging first serves to fend off the break chances.
Advantage.
Struff now 0 for 2 on the serve and volley. Both times having to play that first ball from below knee level. Sumptuous. Fonseca goes on the attack after a big return, and he extends his lead. Now 2 breaks in the opening set. Fonseca leads it 4-1. Fonseca's got to be feeling pretty good about himself now in this opening set at this ATP Challenger 175. Highest level on the Challenger Tour. It's upgraded last year. We're seeing more and more of these events pop up as we see more expanded Masters. Players come here when they lose early at Indian Wells, because especially if you're from Europe like Struff, or if your home is far away, I suppose it applies to Fonseca as well. You really don't want to travel home and then have to go to Miami. Struff sent chasing shadows. Always smart to go behind a big man. Fonseca at this time last year was focusing on clay court challengers. Easy hold for the Brazilian, now 5-1. Joao was offered wild cards at Indian Wells and Miami. Beautiful full moon tonight in Phoenix. And Fonseca turned down those wild cards. He didn't feel like he was ready, and he wanted to continue to build his confidence and not try to do too much too soon. Revving up the ground stroke speeds now. Stunning power from that man.
Love 30. Mm. 15, 30.
Fonseca has been so good at making Struff volley from a low contact point in this match. It's the first passing shot you feel he's missed. Case in point, 0 for 3 now on the Struff serve and volley. He simply can't get the looks that he desires. And it is double set point. That's wide. Fonseca routs Jan-Lennard Struff in set 1. He collects a breadstick here in Phoenix, and he's now a set away from the quarterfinals at the 2025 Arizona Tennis Classic. First set to Joao Fonseca in just 25 minutes, breaking Jan-Lennard Struff's serve 3 times. So glad you're with us on this Thursday evening. And a special welcome to those tuning in from Brazil on the Globo channel. We welcome everybody watching from around the world. Joao Fonseca has certainly captivated so many. What a performance so far. Perfection. Didn't get the footwork quite right on the overhead, but I just love the setup there. Fonseca has made 14 out of 17 first serves, and it's such a key against Struff because he needs to get on offense in order to win points, including on return. So he got a second serve look there that he could try to attack, and he mishit it slightly, but it's going to be even harder for him to find the starts to the points that he's looking for when Joao is landing all of his first serves. And by the way, he was high percentage against Kotov in round 1 as well, up at 67%. Part of that is the body serves. His target is middle of the box, and he's getting it into Struff's chest. Overshaped. It's an excellent sliding forehand by Fonseca.
First game, second set.
Came up a little bit gingerly afterwards, looked towards his box. I think he might have just come over his ankle a little bit, but doesn't look serious. Can Jan-Lennard Struff find his range here? Comes in on a 4-match losing streak. He's only 3-7 in 2025, but all 7 of his losses are against top 60 opponents. I'll give you Struff's last 4. He lost to Monfils at Indian Wells in the opening round. Medvedev got him in Dubai. Talon Griekspoor beat him in Doha. And Medvedev beat him in Marseille as well in the quarters, which has always been a difficult matchup for him. So, you know, Struff on paper, it's a tough stretch, but the draws have been brutal. Volleying from his shoelaces again. It's been the story of the night so far for Struff. And a credit to Fonseca. Block return from Fonseca, just forcing Struff to generate his own pace off the backhand side. And the German detonates it into the net for another Fonseca break point. Wonderful shot by Struff. And a great job turning the point around with that short backhand cross court. When Struff was on the run, he was able to get that ball low enough that Fonseca had to let his foot off the gas. Backed off the baseline by that hard return up the middle by Fonseca. Another break point.
Advantage, Struff.
That backhand sprays. Struff has a chance now to get out of this game.
Struff. One game on.
Just a bit long. Critical hold for Struff to end the run of games for Fonseca. Remarkably, Jan-Lennard is serving at 71% first serves in, which is way above his average in the last year of 58. Yet, he's really struggling to hold.
Love 15.
Fonseca starts this game off with a double fault. Struff's win percentage on first serve is 48. Perfection.
15-13.
This is a skillful first volley by Fonseca. Got it nice and deep in the court, but Struff had the answer. That was the best look of the match for Struff. 15-30, a short ball to attack with the backhand. Can't find the court. Two double faults in this game, though, by Fonseca. This is Joao's first break point faced of the tournament in the fourth set that he's played.
Struff leads 2-1.
Patient point there by Struff. Maintained his consistency, and it's a wobble for Joao Fonseca, who did not serve well in that game. And Struff, after escaping at love 1, breaks at 1-all to take a lead early in the second. We welcome everybody tuning in on the ATP Tour YouTube channel. Thank you for watching the ATP Challenger Tour, and thanks for being with us on this Thursday evening at the Arizona Tennis Classic. It's a cold one. Jan-Lennard Struff hopes to have found something from here on out.
15 love.
The 34-year-old has not held serve without facing a break point in this match yet.
Love. 40 love.
Struff looking a whole lot more dialed in.
Okay, Struff.
And right on cue.
Struff leads 3-1.
He holds easily for the first time all match, and it's a consolidation in this second set. 3-1 now. Left strapping on the thigh of Joao Fonseca. He tweaked it against Pavel Kotov in the opening round. Beautiful combination there. Fonseca did undergo an MRI. The results were obviously promising enough that he felt comfortable playing tonight. Seems to be moving explosively. First ace of the match for Joao Fonseca. A couple of easy holds there, but the 18-year-old has some work to do in this second set. He trails by a break, 3-2. Joao Fonseca's team, Guilherme Teixeira, the head coach, they are very close. Joao says he's like a big brother figure. Family of Fonseca is not here in Phoenix, but they will be joining him in Miami. Mom, dad, siblings. Joao very close with his family, and he's looking forward to that. And personally, I'm looking forward to the environment that we're going to see at the Miami Open, because the Brazilians always show out for their players. This Phoenix crowd trying to play their role and jumpstart Fonseca. Oh, finally, Struff gets a serve and volley to go his way. It's the height of volley that makes all the difference. At times, Struff catches it above waist level. It can be damaging on that first volley. Nice combination there. Dragged Fonseca way off the court with the serve, and Struff holds for 4-2. Fonseca redirects well off that backhand side. Joao with the serve and volley. He'll throw it in occasionally. Struff is not an easy guy to serve and volley against because he's so aggressive on the return. He basically drives everything. No chance to drive that. As Fonseca snaps down another ace, his second. He's been tidy on serve. Winner of this second round match will take on Hugo Gaston in the quarters. Fonseca continues to make a high volume of returns in play against the big serve of Struff, and he's getting the reward. Love 30 chance here for the Brazilian. An erratic stretch of points for Struff. Good defense by that man, and it's love 40. Oh, we had mishits, we had lines. Kind of a broken rally from the start. Fonseca with 2 fractional misses on these last 2 break points. Double. Crowd responds. Fonseca has gotten back level. Endorses the Yonex VCore 98. I believe it's Poly Tour Strike string
15.
Just popped up that half volley.
15,
But a good job by Struff from a defensive position, keeping this ball right here low. Pinpoint first serve. And that's one thing Fonseca has in common with Jannik Sinner. He loves that drive volley off the forehand that doesn't allow his opponent to recover into the middle of the court.
Dirty 40.
Quality attack by Struff. Break point for the world number 46. Struff bleeding Fonseca into his backhand corner.
Leads 5 games to 4.
Heavy two-handers cross court from Jan-Lennard Struff at the end of that game. And he earns himself a chance to serve for the second set. 5-4. Jan-Lennard Struff has settled in, and then some. Serving for set number 2. Fonseca unloads on that second return and puts Struff on the scramble right away. It hasn't happened much in this set, as Struff has won now 7 out of the 10 second serve points.
Love 30. 15-30.
Well, despite the fact that Fonseca is very much in this match, his forehand hasn't quite found the range yet. Even in the first set, which he dominated.
30 all.
It is windy out here. Much like the matches we saw Fonseca play at Indian Wells. Slid that second serve into the body. Second serve return troubles continue for Joao, and Struff has himself a set point.
Game, second
Ace for Struff, and that does it for the second.
6 games to 4, 1 set all.
We are going the distance on this Thursday night in Phoenix. Oh, quite bizarre as far as the serving numbers are concerned for Struff. The numbers actually got a little bit closer together, but for most of the set, he was winning far more often with his second serve than his first, which is obviously not what you would expect. He was opportune on his break chances, converting both, and Fonseca struggled in the second serve dynamic in set number 2 as a whole. Struff, an uncomfortable matchup for anybody, especially when you haven't played it before. He makes you defend so much. And you feel like anytime you leave the ball in the middle of the court or a little bit short, Struff is trying to punish you off of it, hitting big and coming forward. So it's a high pressure situation
Final sets.
that Fonseca is having to deal with tonight.
Love 15.
Great anticipation by Struff. Seemed like he read every shot that Fonseca had to offer in that point. For Joao, you go back to what's worked for you in this tournament so far and what's worked for you in the first set. High percentage first serving, coming forward as much as possible. Maintaining discipline from the back of the court, because Fonseca, he hasn't had his best timing tonight so far. Haven't seen a ton of forehand winners from the back of the court. Too much that time from Struff. Well-timed +1 forehand down the line.
First game, final sets.
Fonseca starts off the third with a hold. Struff has played a lot of straight set matches in 2025. His record in deciders is just 1-1. For Fonseca, he's played a whole lot more. And it was one of the things that was so impressive about his title run in Buenos Aires at the start of February, is how many long, tight matches he was able to find his way through. The 18-year-old in 2025, a 4-1 record in deciding sets, and a 4-match win streak. The one loss was at the Australian Open to Lorenzo Sonego. Coming off of a second-round defeat at Indian Wells, but he did take his opener against Jacob Fernley in a third.
Love 15.
Struff was taken down by the Frenchman Gael Monfils in Palm Springs. 4-match losing streak for the former world number 21. Maybe it just could have been a little more footwork from Fonseca moving to his left instead of reaching for the ball and hitting the backhand slice. Fonseca looks skyward after that second return miss. Great variety there. Fonseca made an adjustment on the second return, didn't try to do too much with it. Just kind of hit a little point starter. That slice down the line was very disruptive. The Fonseca slice again.
13, 14.
Struff struggling to get down low with his forehand for that one. Had it. Painful miss for Fonseca, who has been really sharp at the net in Phoenix. That's the wind. Started blowing really heavy midway through that point, and both players were battling to maintain the clean ball striking. Struff relenting with the shank. Second break point for Fonseca at the start of the third. Forehand finds the net. Fonseca strikes first in this decider. And has he found something tactically with the backhand slice? Because that is the shot that got him back into that return game. If you look at Struff's best results over the course of his career, clay courts. He likes the high bounce. Fonseca getting vocal. Stifling return there by Struff. Let me back up what I said about the clay court thing. So Struff's only title, Munich, clay. His best ever run in a Masters, Madrid, clay. What a nice combination there from Fonseca. Vaporized this forehand cross court. And the drop shot was executed well. Struff, nearly a spectacular dig. Fonseca will take his chances from that position. Miss hit from Fonseca. Forehand landed short. Struff is able to step in and crush. By the way, at the majors, Jan-Lennard's best run is a fourth round Roland Garros in 2019. He's got 11 wins in Paris in his career, his most successful slam.
Left for service.
Good pace on the serve. Too hot for Struff to handle. Struff really unleashing throughout that point. Fonseca hit a slice early on in that exchange that did not stay low. Struff was able to take control. Struff's going to come right back here with the break point. Great absorption off of a really quick return of serve by Struff. Fonseca had to be alert and pick it up. But at the tail end of that point, was not a great forehand miss from Struff. He had the look he wanted. That's so big. Wasn't a winner, but it was one of Fonseca's best forehand strikes of the match. And it comes in a big spot as the 18-year-old looks to consolidate his break here in the third. He comes through. That's a massive hold. 3-love in this decider to the 18-year-olds as he eyes a spot in the quarterfinals at the 2025 Arizona Tennis Classic, a part of the ATP Challenger Tour. I was able to chat with Joao Fonseca's coach, Guilherme Teixeira, early in the week, and I asked him what the main focuses are right now in the young man's development. He told me it's mostly about the mental and the physical. They're happy with where the technical skills are at, so they're not necessarily working on serve, forehand, backhand, volleys, all that stuff. Fonseca is very advanced in those areas, but they want to focus on the physicality, getting stronger, improving the endurance, the speed around the court, and they also want to make sure that Fonseca stays in a good place mentally with all that comes with his growing stardom. What a strike.
Dirty love.
Change up first serve. Struff took everything off of that, and that's probably because he hasn't been making many first serves in this third set. Throws in a double here. And this has been a problem for Struff in the last year or so. His first serve percentage last 52 weeks is 58%, which is 47th among top 50 players. Guess what? The backhand slice. Disrupting Struff's contact point, making him move inside the court and hit from below the level of his knees. It's been very uncomfortable for the big German. Well-executed S&V. So Struff does get out of the game, and he gets on the board here in the third. You'd think for an attacking player like Struff that maybe he'd like hard court or grass, but no. We talk so much about court speed, but height of bounce is so crucial. And Struff likes the ball to jump up higher into his strike zone. That's why the clay has been so successful for him. Well spotted. I'd keep hitting that body serve if I were Fonseca. Make firsts, don't allow Struff to extend his arms. An exchange of backhand slice. Fonseca's had more success using it into Struff's forehand. Struff on the attack. He's down 30-love in this game, and he's rattled off 3 straight return points. Chance to get it back on serve here. Clutch from Joao Fonseca. His third ace of the match. That was dangerous. Fonseca put himself in a good position to win that point with a really good target hit on the serve. We talked about it early. Spot serving makes all the difference against Struff. Someone who looks to be aggressive off the return. That one's wild. Fonseca saves a break point with an ace and pulls ahead to 4-1 in this deciding set. Facing off and hoping for a chance at Hugo Gaston in the quarters. First ever meeting between these two. 34-year-old Struff versus the 18-year-old Fonseca. It's a Phoenix debut for Joao, and we're all wondering if this is going to be his last challenger. We assume it's going to be at the very least one of his last challengers. Struff, on the other hand, has a history here in Phoenix. Played it a couple years ago when his ranking was way down at 134. and he came through qualifying and made the semis, losing to Nuno Borges, who would go on to win the tournament. Borges has been the champion in back-to-back years here in Phoenix. And he looked really good earlier today in his opening match. He's the top seed this week as well. Struff at 1-4. It's a win for Borges over Jacob Fernley in straights. Well, first, Struff with the accidental drop shot off of a ball he tried to drive. And then he gets a little bit fortunate off the top of the net tape here.
Game Struff. Fonseca leads 4-2.
Hold it love for Struff. 4-2 now. Jan-Lennard, by the way, one of the most polite human beings you will ever see. He shakes everybody's hands when he walks into the locker room, all the tournament organizers. It was a good idea, but it was difficult for Fonseca to catch that ball at a comfortable height because he was so deep in the court on that first forehand. Nice 1-2 there. Why not just accept the backhand and hit that slice? Surprised that Fonseca tried to run around there and he was never on balance for that forehand. Fonseca under the gun again. And it's another second return miss from Struff. He's had some massive opportunities in this return game. Now there's going to be errors with Jan-Lennard because of the style that he plays. You're also going to get a little bit of that. A relentless attack from Struff straight off the first ball. Beautiful soft skills on this forehand volley. Another agonizing miss for Struff. Did such a good job up until that point. Even ripped a nice forehand off of a Fonseca slice. These gusty conditions, they get the better of Fonseca that time. Four for 4 break points saved in this set so far. Here comes another. That time he lands the first serve. It's a luxury he hadn't had on his previous break points in this game. Jammed him up into the body. That's massive. Such a good play against the 6'4" Struff, who looks to hug the baseline.
Fonseca.
A cannon up the tee. Fourth ace of the match. And Fonseca claws his way to 5-2.
Fonseca leads 5-2.
He has saved all 5 break points in set number 3. And he is a game away now. The yellow and green is out on this Thursday evening in Phoenix. It is a cold one, and I'm sure that has deterred some fans from making their way out here, but the fans who are here have been highly engaged and vocal. Fonseca getting the majority of the crowd support. as he so often has in his young career so far. An electrifying watch. Maybe hasn't had his A game tonight, but he's competed very well, and he's a game away.
Love 15.
A couple things that certainly have been there are the first serve return. Oh, Fonseca does the splits there in the corner. Yeah, there was concern pre-match about that groin that's taped up on the left side, but seems fine.
Dirty 15. Forty 15.
Slides that down the line.
40-30.
Again, Fonseca using the short slice to his advantage, that time off of a forehand chip return. Just lifted up on that approach shot forehand a little too much. And now suddenly Fonseca is threatening to shut the door right here, right now. 2 points away. Dug up a beautiful volley by Struff. Went down low to get that one. And a nice delivery to hold. And put the onus on Joao Fonseca to serve this out. He's going to have new balls in this game to do so. It's been a struggle throughout this third set to hang on to serve, but Fonseca's been so clutch. Guess what stood out about Fonseca's performance is he hasn't necessarily had his best ball striking from the back of the court, which is really the best part of his game, but some of the other stuff has come through. There's been clutch serving. The slice has been a big addition to his game in the second half of this match. Sweetly timed from Struff. Good balance there. How about the second serve?
50.
Struff has had so much trouble attacking the second delivery of Fonseca, especially in this third set. Good aggressive rip on the +1 forehand, and Fonseca
40-50.
follows it forward with vigor. Double match point for the 18-year-old. Not so fast.
40-30.
Two gems off the backhand side for Struff in this game. On a chilly night in the southern Arizona desert, Joao Fonseca makes the quarterfinals with a 3-set win over Jan-Lennard Struff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, advancing to the quarterfinals, let's hear it for Joao Fonseca!
Saved all 5 break points in set number 3. He neutralized Struff's first serve throughout this match.
And ladies and gentlemen,
It was a dominant first set, bit of a wobble in the second.
Let's hear it for Jan-Lennard Struff.
Fonseca now on a 5-match winning streak in deciding sets since losing that 5-setter in Australia against Sonego. And for Struff, the struggles unfortunately continue. The bad draws continue. He was the 4th seed this week. He got a bye in the opening round. This was his opener here in Phoenix. Struff now on a 5-match losing streak. But boy, he's lost to a lot of really great players. And Fonseca is another one of those guys who you don't want to see in your draw right now. Win number 17 on the year for Fonseca. He improves to 22-4 since the Next Gen Finals in Saudi Arabia at the tail end of last year. It is his second Challenger quarterfinal of the year. He did it in Canberra to start the year. And we're getting ready to hear from Joao Fonseca, who's down on the court with Alex Gruskin.
Joao, congratulations to you first and foremost on the victory tonight. I'll keep it simple. How would you grade your performance here in your round of 16?
I mean, it was difficult to warm up today, a lot of rain. So in the beginning of the match, it was cold. It's cold outside, so thank you very much for staying here in this cold. And yeah, thanks for the Brazilian crowd. And they helped me a lot during the beginning of the third set because I lost the second set, playing a good first set. So I mean, it was difficult to focus. It was a little bit windy, very cold, and Struff is a very good player. So I mean, happy the way that I fought today.
No, it was so impressive to see, and I think we're all as equally impressed by the shorts here on a night tonight. A job well done by you. I'm just curious, you talk about those conditions. It is chilly here this evening. How does that impact your tennis? What do you have to do to ensure you can play your best on a night like tonight?
I mean, you need to stay warm all the time. I can see you shaking right there. So I mean, yeah, going for the balls long distance, it just makes you warm. So yeah, was good for today. Stay warm and stay focused because it was going to be a good battle.
No, you certainly heated things up for all of us here with your performance tonight. My last question, I know you've had so much success over the last 12 months as you've begun your pro career, but to make another quarterfinal here this week in Phoenix, knowing you have Miami on the horizon, what does this do for your confidence moving forward?
I mean, it's going match by match, focusing on the next match. I don't know who I'm getting it, but yeah, focus, talk to my team about a strategy, and go for it.
Well, certainly on a night like tonight, it feels like you are headed in the right direction. Again, so impressive, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, we stuck around for it. Let's make some noise for Joao Fonseca. And if you want a shot at an autograph from, again, the youngest player currently in the top 100, Phoenix, get on your feet. Let's make some noise. Got to keep that noise up, folks. Let's hear it for Joao.